Hi, I've always been on the lookout for like the perfect concealer. It's been like my lifelong mission. And this is because I've always, ever since I was a kid, I had these dark under eye circles. And so when I got my first concealer at 14 from Clinique, it came in a little tube with a wand. I was constantly applying it, trying to make sure I could hide those. And since then, I've learned a lot of tips and tricks. And I've been constantly on the search for like, okay, what's the best? What's the best? What can I find that I love? And truthfully, I've never committed. I'm always searching for something new. But I wanted to share with you what I thought were some of the ones that I have tried. And I don't have everything I've ever used, but that I still have in my collection. The ones that I like the most and the ones that I found don't work the best for me. And these, of course, are just my opinions. And this is what works for me. So first of all, let me give you my criteria. I'm 38. I wear eye cream, which means very hydrated. And with that, I tend to have a lot of issues with a rich hydrated eye cream. And I put it on and I wait a long time before I put anything else on so that it has a chance to sink in. And I don't put in too much because I want to make sure that it stays hydrated but not enough to mess up my face so that I can put everything else on and it's not like an oil slick down here. But I want to make sure that when I put something else on top, that it actually has a chance to stay all day and look good. But I find that a lot of things don't. And even when I don't, and there have been times I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just do eye cream at night. And on the days that I do that, I still have problems because my eyes are naturally oily. I guess that's a good thing, I've heard, because your eyes will age better longer. Anyway, the whole idea is still that I still have product that creases and settles in my 38-year-old crinkles. All right, and it just makes me look older. Boo to that. Okay, so I've always been looking for something that will wear well in the creases and not settle. Okay, so first thing that I tried, and these are products, I've had other things that I've been sent, and they've always been like, I had, this is Sheer Cover, the duo of This Is Sheer Cover, and I got this from, oh, comes in a box. What's it called? Influencer. And the colors were wrong, so I really can't use it. I tried it a while, and it was also too oily, it's too slick, and it just kind of like went everywhere. And this is a little something in a pan here from Yabby, and it's in the color Buff. It's also the wrong color. It's too dark for me. It kind of can work in a pinch, but I have to have a lot of bronzer on, and it's not my favorite. So these two things I'm not really going to tell you a ton about. But out of the ones that I've purchased, I have 9 that I still have in my stash. The first one is from Lancome. I like this one the least. And this is the Effercerns Waterproof Concealer. And the reason I don't like this is I find that it's drying. And you know, sometimes you can see people who have concealer on that kind of highlights all those little tiny bumps underneath their eyes. That's what this does for me. And I'm like, I've hydrated, everything's good, my skin isn't dry, but it almost makes it look like I'm drier than I should be. And I didn't really care for the formula. Now, it's supposed to be waterproof and full coverage, and coverage-wise, I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, it's about a 6.5. I've seen better full coverage stuff. I didn't really like it. It's expensive. I wouldn't recommend it. That's just me. If you have it and you love it, I'm glad for you. It does not work for me. Okay, second one that I have that I used for a while and I really liked and I recommended it to my mom. My mom uses it and still loves it. And the label wore off because it was silver, but it's Clinique All About Eyes. And this is the light neutral shade. And this one I liked a lot. I'm not going to swatch them for you because I'm using my laptop and the camera here is terrible. But this one, the consistency, I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, coverage was about a 6, maybe a 7. And what I liked about this was that the color was very close to my skin. It had more of a yellow undertone, which I have more of that yellow undertone, whereas the Lancome was more of a pink undertone. And it never really worked. And I didn't have that problem where it settled and looked funny here. And it worked really well. It just didn't cover my dark circles as much as I'd like. And it worked okay. The next one that I used probably all the way through college and into my mid-20s, and I still have a tube because every now and again I'm just like, you know what, I like the way that it feels on my skin. I haven't purchased this. I think this tube is hanging around. I've had it for a while. But it's Clinique's Maki Complete, and this color is Ivoire or Ivory. I go out and say, can I get the ivory? Oh, you mean Ivoire? Yes, I suppose I do. Thank you, Lancome lady. Anyway, so it's the Maki Complete, and it comes in a wand. And I think I like it because it's in the wand. I've always had something for like the wand applicators. I don't know why. And I still get my finger in it, but I feel like I have, I can put it exactly where I want, as opposed to, putting a drop here and then having to transfer when it comes in a tube. Doesn't matter. But I like this one. But coverage for this one is more like in a 5 range. But I find that it's really creamy. This one settles in my creases. That's what I don't like. So there's that. One that I picked up at the drugstore that I was surprised how much I liked. And I would give this one like a 7. And it's L'Oreal's True Match. And this is the True Match, what is it called? Oh, it's in French there. It's their Super Blendable Crayon Concealer. Yeah, and this stuff, I was surprised at how much I liked it. And it comes at first with like, this is like a really blunt tip now, but it comes with like a really super pointy tip. It looks like a crayon, like a really nice sharpened crayon. And it said it had this really sharp point for precision application. And I went for precision application and poof, the tip broke off. So thought that was bad marketing because it's super creamy and it did not hold up. It like one small little and the whole tip broke off. I was like, well, that was lame. And so once we're down to here, you can put it on where you want and then blend it either with a brush or your finger. And if you're doing it with the finger, you want to be a little bit lighter. I always use my ring finger because that's the one that gives me the best, lightest application. But I find it works really well, especially like around the nose area. I get a lot of redness like right around in here. And then sometimes I have a couple of hyperpigmentation spots, like right down in here from blemishes. Yes, we still get them at 38, and they're wonderful. And I find that this hides them really well. I'd say 7.5 on the concealer coverage area. I like it a lot. And it doesn't settle, almost not at all. Yeah, if you powder it correctly, it works really well. Now, I had really high hopes for Erase Paste from Benefit. I love the way that it has that salmon color to it. It's really creamy, really, really creamy. But this settled in my creases like nobody's business. And it made me look so much older. And I tried everything. Powder on top, primer on the bottom, like eye primer, as well as face primer, as well as primer, and then powder, and nothing worked. This stuff is so creamy, the warmth of my skin just make it all greasy and it settled in my creases. So the color was great for concealing, and I'd say it's 8.5 for like coverage wise, but once you get a few little crinkles, I think for me, it doesn't work. On other places on my face, that works really well. Like I have a really big sunspot over here and it works pretty well to hide that, but for like under here, it doesn't work well. What I did like, it's supposed to be creaseless, and it's not perfectly creaseless on me. So this is one that I don't set with powder, and if I really, really, really want to wear it, I stick it in my purse, and then I just keep like rubbing it out all day long, dabbing it out. Is Benefit's Fake Up. And this is the one that has a core of color in the middle, and then kind of like a clear ring around the outside that has hydration in it for under here. And it also has what's supposed to be creaseless hydration ring. So it's supposed to help it not crease in your under eyes. So it's supposed to be for those of us who are a little bit older. And I found that it still creased for me. So I think the color was perfect because I have the light. The color match was really good for me. I'd say it's still only like at a 6.5 for like concealing, but it does give a nice lightness to the face. And so on the days that I'm wearing very little foundation, well, no foundation, because a lot of days I don't wear a lot of foundation or no foundation. So on the days that I'm not wearing foundation, that I'm just wearing concealer and mascara and just a smidge of blush and like chapstick, this is great. And on those days, I don't need to be completely concealed and not look like I don't have any that day it's okay for me to have a little bit of a dark circle because that's the normal natural me. If it's mostly gone, great. If it's still there a little bit, I'm okay with that. So I like this. I just have to prime really well under here and then put this on and then stick it in my purse. And if it continues to like, you know, crinkle up, I'll just kind of, you know, rub it out. And if I rub it out so much that most of it's gone, I'll just reapply and go again. And that helps. I just won't set it. And then my favorite three, I think these three, I can't decide which one is the best because these, one of them truly is creaseless and the other two have like maximum coverage. I would say they're like a 9 out of 10 for coverage for me. And I think that I can't decide which do I like more because one is like, this one for me is like an 8 out of 10 for coverage. This is Tarte's Maracuja Creaseless Concealer, but it gets like a 10 out of 10 for the creaseless part. Like when they say creaseless, this puppy does not move. I love that about this. This goes nowhere. I use light. This is fabulous. And out of all of the ones that are like in tubes, I've used the most of this. Like I love this stuff. I would highly recommend this if you're looking for something that really is creaseless under here. I find it to be the best for not creasing. And I like it with, I dab it on and then I use a brush to buff it out with. I have a small foundation brush because I find the ones that are actually supposed to be like for concealers, unless it's a big fluffy concealer brush. I have some smaller ones. They're just too small. So I use a small foundation brush, like the flat ones. And I just kind of, it works really well for me. I like that instead of my fingers for this one. And then these two, I think when they say full coverage, they really mean full coverage because I can't find anything that covers as well as these two. But they're not creaseless. So I've been priming and I just started using like an eye primer. I've been using Urban Decay's Primer Potion and I use the anti-aging one. They have a new anti-aging one that I'm putting up here and down here. And then these over the top. Okay, here we go. These. One is Makeup Forever's Full Cover, and the other one is Amazing Cosmetics Amazing Concealer. And I love, look at this. It's like a little mini. But the truth is, I've had this before, like almost a decade ago when I couldn't find it anywhere. Oh, upside down, sorry. And I had to go and like make a stab in the dark at what color it was. I was like looking online going, wait, I can't go and try it anywhere. That one. And I really did take a stab out of the dark and there was no return policy. It's like, you like it, you buy it, and there's no returning. And I got the one color that oddly enough was like, I think the best shade for me and it worked really well. But since it came in such a huge tube and you need literally like a pin dot size of this stuff, I didn't even get like a third of the way through before it had been like almost 3 years. And it was like, you can't possibly still be good. It smelled okay, but I was like, bacteria or something is brewing in there. So I tossed it. And then I kept trying other things. And I finally said, I'm going to try this again. And truthfully, it still isn't amazing as I remember it. And I picked up some of this Makeup Forever Full Cover, and it's really good too. So these two, I think, have the best coverage. I can't decide which one is better. I think maybe this. This one's really good. They're great. Best coverage, creaseless. So like these are the, I can't pick a favorite really, not yet. I can't. All three of these, I'll put them in the description bar below because these three are amazing. And I'll mention them down below. If you're looking, the rest of them, you saw them. If you want them, if you use them, you may love them. If you're trying something else that you think is like amazing, or you have reasons to say the ones I didn't like are like, let me know. I'd love to hear it. Okay, let's talk concealer. Thanks for watching, and let me know what your thoughts are. Okay, bye for now.